girls. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, YouTube? We're back with the Multiplayer Podcast, the show that you always love, where so many L's are handed out. Funny shit, man. Funny shit. As the room is still filling up with you guys, you can be so kind again, like I said, to hit the like button, to tweet it out. I didn't even hit the like button. My damn self and tweet it out. Let me mute myself in the background. All day. You got his mic muted. Kings,
what up?
What you got going on with yourself? I haven't spoken.
Shit, man. Just ready to start this show, man. You know, it's been a little spooky in these Twitter streets. You know,
a little spooky.
But we got to eradicate. We got to eradicate motherfuckers.
Damn.
Let's get it though.
Yeah, I know, man. I listen, man. I was in La La Land. I was sleeping. I probably like a roster. I don't wake up about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I seen that you texted me. So you waiting for all day to show up. No, I'm sorry, K Mega to show up.
Yeah.
Something you want to get off your chest, I presume.
Yeah, it's pretty much a funeral on live air, you know.
Oh man,
man.
We all here for the ceremony.
Yo, should I get the holy water?
Oh, no.
Get that, and then we'll resurrect them next week. We'll have a seance. With some pig feet and a construction suit.
Hey, my man came out like the Black Bob the Billy. I'm going to hell for that one, bro. Straight to the Lake Fires, man. All right, hey Porter Rock,
man, what's good? What's good, bro?
This morning out there fighting the council war.
No, so you know what I'm saying? You know,
early morning.
You know, some dude had to remind people about Yoshida.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. I forgot, man. I forgot. You know, they call him Cookie. They call him Cookie Monster. I don't know. I don't know who this dude was.
I was in my bag, man.
Okay, my man had sleep deprivation and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
My bag. I said never forget.
And I'm like, yo, never forget all the execs. I'm like, man, I saw a quote saying, you know, resolution don't matter, play games. You know, these execs are wild, bro.
Yeah, I know, but they you know,
got fake accounts, got dudes fucking motherfuckers are one around than this motherfucker, bro.
Hey, Jabari was tweeting. Jabari was having a whole conversation with that dude, bro. I said,
no, yo, on the real. Like, when I saw that dude, I'm thinking, when I first saw him, he only had like 800 followers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, you telling me the dude that's running PSN now he has a Twitter? But then, like, you know, his following started growing. So I looked at the people who was following him because I was interested to see who actually, you know, if there was any major dudes, you know, people with the Twitter verification check follow him. Mm-hmm. And yo, Phil Spencer followed him. Mm-hmm. That's what made me follow him. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yo, if it's good enough for Phil, it's good enough for me. Yo, like an hour later, that account got blocked. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, this shit is spooky, bro. Yo, shit is spooky over this motherfucker.
Yeah, man, it's all jokes, though. I mean, it's all fun.
I ain't think these Sony guys followed their execs, man. Except for your
no? Well, Jabari said he'd be having whole conversations with him. Jabari, his exact words that Yoshida be DMing him. That's what he said. He said that.
I'm gonna be real, yo. I follow Yoshida. That dude posts like one tweet every like 5 months, bro.
Yeah.
He hardly talks anything, bro. Like he hardly talks anything. Like once every 6 months.
Yeah, he blocked me for whatever reason. That's crazy. To everyone, and
then he put that character in Horizon Zero Dawn. He's like, you know what, this motherfucker.
Hey, yo,
that dude looks just like you, bro.
Hey,
that shit is funny.
He blocked you. He blocked you because you DM'd his grandma. He knew what the fuck was going on.
Listen, I asked. Listen, you know, I don't disrespect nobody. I don't be trolling him. I asked that man a serious question on Twitter when they showed what show they had. One of those shows, was it the Gamescom or it might have been a Tokyo Game Show when he had them brown leather gloves on. And they had that PS4 in that glass box, and that bitch had that red line going across. And I was asking him, what does the red line mean? Did it overheat? And he blocked me. That was it. I'm like, damn, nigga, what's happening?
What's happening?
Omega. There go my brother.
There you go, 2018, man. You thought I was not gonna come back on multiplayer?
Yo, listen, all day was in here talking about you look like you was loading a snake's belly. I'm letting you know right now.
All day.
I'm letting you know.
Listen, right now. I said this on Twitter, and I'll say this again. All day keeps my name in his mouth.
Oh shit!
All the time, man.
That sounds a little.
It's gonna be a good show.
Hit the
like button.
Hit the like button.
And you know the whole thing is like this, man. His old lady, she likes me, man. I'm her favorite YouTuber.
That's what I hate coming
from man, you trying to get it started early?
Oh man,
man, this dude
I can come in and sweat like
I'm just coming in having a good time. Sit back, talk about
Yo, post
I don't care about no tapes. I mean, because y'all, the last time that y'all played something, y'all altered it. And because
I know he ain't just hit us with
the we played the last time that y'all played. The last time y'all played some tapes, right?
Yo, we played.
That was something that we had to talk about.
Said that wasn't even me. That wasn't even.
No, that was me. That was me. But when we had that conversation,
man,
it turned into it was just something that I already made my point and was valid about whatever that we were talking about or discussing that day. And then what happened? They only just took for that last part. I said, if I had to just to make a bet or whatever, then I come into it.
Hey, K-Mega, if I had done I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck with you, bro. You sound like somebody stole something out the corner store, big fella.
I'm gonna get 100 with you, man, all the time, man. Look, I don't care.
If I am.
My voice is going on there, man. I ain't getting paid for my services, man. Y'all gonna have to start coming, man. I'm telling you. What's up, man? What's going on? What tapes y'all got now? So let's go ahead. Let's what we got.
I was waiting.
We still doing intros, man. We still doing intros.
Don't worry about it. What we got?
We'll kill you later, man. Don't worry about it.
No, don't worry about it. I can't die, bro. I'm indestructible.
No,
hit the like button, bro.
We're gonna resurrect you.
It's a great show. Hit the like button.
We're gonna resurrect you, Stucco. Listen, Stucco.
You can't do nothing to me, man. You've tried.
Hey, drywall.
Hey, you gonna make K-Mega rip off the GRG fucking tank top and get his Hulk Hogan on here, boy. Don't play games with him.
Let's talk about it.
Started off with Jabari trying to come with that bullshit, right? When I first started on YouTube, pretty much getting on the scene, right? And then what happened? I'm looking and I'm like, this dude's been in the game a hell of a lot longer than me. And this man is over here got less subs than me. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm looking at my boy Porter Rock. He's doing really well. He's now the new voice of PlayStation. How did that happen, Jabari? How did that happen?
Oh, Lord.
Take a ground, bro.
Hey, but I'm going to call. Hey, hold on. Hey, Stucco, check this out, Stucco. I asked you if you want to debate him again. You said no. 2018. I'm trying to do
garbage. I'm not doing that garbage. I got a whole other method that I got going. Look, you can stay.
Jabari's not here to defend himself, bro.
I'm just saying. He was at the time. He was supposed to be the voice of PlayStation. He DM'd Yoshida all that, right? I got a lot of respect for Jabari, man. Because when we came on GRG, man, he was cool. We talked. We all chopped it up for like 3-4 hours. It was really cool, man. It was really cool. It was nothing wrong with that dude, right? So the fact of it is that now we're looking at that. I'm going to get killed by somebody. I mean, I've had Bond come after me. I've had Hard 8 come at me. I've had all these dudes keep coming at me.
You've died every single time.
No. How did I die? How am I dying? Look. I'm over here. If I die, I join PTSD. What the hell is going on, bro? Get the hell out of here.
Go ahead, Z. Go ahead, Z.
Let's go.
Let's go. This is crazy. Man.
Hey, yo, post up.
Hit the like.
I'm gonna need a whole lot more holy water for this podcast. I ain't got it.
I got the holy water.
Yeah. All day I'm in here, man, sitting here with Mad Dog 2020 and a motherfucking wine glass with his pinky up, thinking he's over here.
Hey, listen to K-Mega.
You did have that pinky out.
Stucco, nigga.
Yo, man. I gotta get my coquito with the pinky out.
Right, go. So 450K? We can do that in our sleep. I'm sorry, J Dubs. You've been rocking out for the last your third show?
Yeah, man, third show.
You gained all about six subscribers, right? You said right? We gained about 6 subscribers.
Yeah, I got about 6.
My man with that dog shit channel. But what you got going on with yourself, brother? Talk to people.
Hey, everybody. I mean, you guys know what it is. It's your boy J-Dub, aka Kratos, the god of PlayStation and all things gaming. You guys can, find me on Twitter at JDubCity16. Keeping you guys laughing with the gifts and the memes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do be going hard in the streets, man. You got blocked by a few people too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, you know that, but you know what I'm saying. I take it how it comes. I try. I try to keep Twitter popping.
I know, but Mike Ybarra snapped back at you. That was Mike Ybarra that got at you.
You know what? It's crazy because I tweeted somebody else, and then he jumped in and said something. But I let that rock. I don't rock out with them with the execs like that. I don't go back and forth. I don't go with the disrespecting of the executives and stuff because that ain't what I do.
I thought you had because it was his tweet, right? And you hopped up there. Where the games at?
Yeah, I was messing with my boy Tim Dog, man. You probably see us on Twitter going back and forth.
Tim, man.
Guys laugh.
Tim is salt of the earth, man. It's a good brother there, man.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Really good guy. Really good guy.
Yeah, Tim is my man, my dude, man.
Yeah,
very passionate about the Xbox, man. You know what I'm gonna start doing though? Honestly, I said that I was gonna start doing, but I got some. I see the logs tapes of BGST. I got one chopped up already. With Tim and Crap fighting. I forgot.
That's the most classic, iconic episode. That's my favorite. That's my number one.
Oh my God, Days did that one.
He did. No, I wasn't all day. It wasn't. Somebody else got it. I said, man,
you always crying. Stop crying.
Yeah, that shit was wild. Yeah, man, that shit was wild. It was hot. Even after the show, Tips was. I said, damn. Like 2 white boys here fighting to the death. God damn. That was funny. I'm gonna start uploading them shits, man. Word up, but then what's up though?
You're gonna do like the best of VGST and shit?
Yeah,
you need to.
Yo, you got to include E3 2016, bro. It sounded like Crap and Mooch sounded like their mothers died. You hear Z in the background like, oh shit, Spider-Man. And Mooch is like, can we go back to hating Sony now? Like, what the hell? They sounded miserable. And he's like, ooh, I like that. Woo, man, look at that one. Oh, that shit was funny.
Exactly.
That was a good goddamn E3, though. I give it that.
Oh, it was good as hell. He was like excited.
Yeah, they came from left field with that shit there. I wasn't expecting that. God, I'm a God of War fan. I was done. That's what that God of War. But anyway, like I said, everybody has introduced himself, right? More or less.
Nah. You ain't get post up.
Damn, he forget his own.
I rock with post about 5 times a week. They know what's going on with that. Nigga, back there checking the shit.
You didn't get last year's Rookie of the Year, the Aaron Judge of this shit.
Okay, Post.
Yo, y'all already know what it. Post up with the close up, Mr. Let's Talk About It. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man, that be ready to talk about it, man. Pound them. Let's talk about it. Let's go. It's gonna be a great show. Under the weather a little bit, just fresh out the hospital, but I definitely made the show.
Pray for my brother, Post. Pay for him.
Oh man,
Pray for my boy. He caught encephalitis in his big foot.
I thought it was a him. I thought it was a big ass hemorrhoid.
1 foot size 17 sneak, the other one was size 7. He went in weird for small foot motherfucker.
That nigga got that buddy professor foot right now.
Yeah, leave with the king, bro, who tripped over his toe earlier, but he ain't gonna talk about it though.
For sure. Yeah, but okay, but Post, Garrett, you already introduced yourself or no? You didn't introduce yourself, Garrett?
Nah, but it's me.
Yeah.
That's all they need to know. Don't worry about all that.
Let's show.
That's Mr. Pubg right there, bro.
Yeah, and we need to. I'm gonna have a talk with my boy Z tonight. We gonna talk about that.
We're gonna talk about it. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna about Digital Foundry, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
My man. All right. So anyway, now normally when we do these shows here, I have a few topics, but shit always go left. Always. You know what I mean? We had what was a couple months ago when D and motherfucking K Maker's about to shoot the fair 130 frames, 60 frames. That shit went left. He said, how tall you is, G? I was just keep a black brother down. I said, well, damn. Shit was wild. But you know what I mean? But so anyway,
shout out to my boy to D Batch, man.
My man with the presence. The aura. Yes. What's that? Yeah, what's that multiplayer he hopped on? Was that Beast Fire he hopped on? It gave us that goddamn 60 frame. Was it a multiplayer or was it Beast Fire?
That was Beast Fire. And then I made a video about it, and then I talked about it on GRG, something like that. And then it spilled over to multiplayer and then turned into that because
No, you sure it was Beach Fire? Because he didn't join the show that day. He was at the.
You talking about when they got into it? That was multiplayer.
No. I'm talking about when he hopped in there when he was talking to the Ubisoft developers and told them the Project Scorpio's it was exclusive to the Scorpio on Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, he's up in there. He's like, I don't want y'all to say nothing.
Don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing. Don't post about it. You know what I'm saying? But whoop the bam. After the show, de-uploaded to YouTube. Xbox One X don't have a 1080p. He just told us not to say nothing. He like, y'all ain't finna beat me to the punch play.
That shit was wild, man. But shout out to my brother D. I don't know where he at, man. Somewhere testing the TV or something, man. Whatever he doing, man. God bless his heart.
You talk about that Sony 8K. That damn thing is a monster.
Yeah, that 10,000 joint.
Yeah,
no, that's 100 G.
No, it was 10 racks.
No, it's more than that. This thing is.
Was it for 8K TV?
Yeah, it's an 8K.
It was like $100,000 to $200,000.
Yeah, it's an 8K 65 inch. Like
that's a lot. That's a lot of Bitcoin right there, bro.
Shit. That's right.
Hey, listen, you know what's crazy? In about 2 years, that TV be about $4 or $5 grand.
True.
I mean, I like when I got my first. Before we get into talk about the coalition, when I got my first 4K TV, I paid about $9 grand for that Sony TV. For that bitch to be outdated a year and a half later, didn't do HDR. Like this shit was wild, man. I'll never do that shit again. Ever.
Just wait, man. Just
you know what I mean. But anyway, like I said, I want to talk about the coalition. Now Microsoft. Now, actually, I didn't even read the article. I've been outside running these streets for a while, so. But what I've got from the gist of it, from Twitter and stuff, that Microsoft came out and squashed the rumor that the coalition was working on a new IP. Now, what started that rumor was we had the leak from the guy on Reddit. So they were supposed to be co-developing. Yeah, it came from Reddit.
Reddit. He said Reddit.
Reddit.
There you go, Reddit. I always call it Reddit. The post came from there, and the guy does have some credibility. He leaked last year's Microsoft's E3 and got everything. Only thing he didn't get right was the Age of Empires, but they didn't show that to Gamescom. You know what I mean? So right, with everything more or less that he announced. So that will give the story will give his rumor some credence. And also too, it was last year, whatever, said that that the coalition is working on new things, but they were supposed to be, doing Perfect Dark Zero. Then when you went to their site, so they've started working on a game since 2017. You know what I mean? So people ran with that. So they're working on a new game. Microsoft came out and said, no, they're not working on nothing but I guess with their established franchise or something, whatever the case may be. And then it was a shitstorm after that. Now, people were saying that Microsoft has the coalition in the headlock. They're restricting their creative freedom. And we all know what happened with Bungie. The game that they wanted to make that Microsoft did not allow them to make was Destiny. You know what I mean? We can, whether you like it or not, it's probably the biggest multi-plat that came out this generation. Destiny is huge. It may have even single-handedly changed the console generation if they had that game been exclusive. Never know. But anyway, they had Destiny under their roof. And I'm not a big Halo guy, but I don't even care for Destiny, but Destiny at this point is bigger than Halo. It is. You know what I mean? Yeah. By far. So with that being said, something that they had under their roof. But Microsoft just wanted them to make Halo, and they had a few other things that they fell out about. And so, I said this, you always know the story that these developers, they are artists, and you can't restrict their creative freedom. You know what I mean? And we all know the story. We went back and forth on other shows. Some of you guys said no, they don't need to make any things. Don't need to make anything else. Yada yada yada. So anyway, Microsoft said no, they're not making anything. Like, what do you guys thought? Do you think this sucks? This is a bummer. Talk to me.
I'll tell you this, man. I'm gonna tell you this. I think it's one thing that these rumors have did, and I would say that it's consolidated our thoughts. Either whether you're a PlayStation guy or Xbox guy, it's consolidated our thoughts in thinking that we know and we all agree that Microsoft need either one, let their studios have their own creative freedom and make something different outside of their main Halo, Gears, and Forza franchise. I think we all agree with that. And based on a rumor, even though it turned out to be false, that solidified that we're all looking forward to, the Gears studio making something else. Turn 10 making something else, Playground making something, you know, all these different people making something else. Guerrilla Games has showed us that you can make one game for freaking 10 years, but if you branch out and try something else, you might hit a diamond. And I think, you know, I think that's the bulk of what we can take from this. Is I think Microsoft need to just step back and let the developers do what they do.
I say one thing. I could understand Turn 10 not making another IP because same thing like with Polyphony Digital for PlayStation. It's because they're in an industry that in and of itself is a separate industry, which is racing. They have to learn about cars, tracks, performance. You know what I'm saying? They have to learn about the physics behind car driving. That's an industry all to itself. You know, Car Driver Magazine, Top Gear. So I can understand Turn 10 not making a new IP because they have to focus on the industry that they have to learn separately. So they're like doing two industries and they're trying to translate into a game. Same thing with Polyphony Digital. Same thing. So I can understand that. Another one on Sony is San Diego Studios. You know, they make baseball games every year. They may not have the time to keep pushing a baseball game every single year and keep up with the baseball industry to make a new IP. So I guess some studios. But when you got studios that just do shooters, they could take on two projects, especially, you know, like Coalition and 343 that has the resources and the manpower. They could tackle on two projects. No one's saying don't make a Halo, don't make a Gears of War. Keep continuing those franchises, but stagger them out. Gears 1 year, Gears, then another IP. Back to Gears, then back to another IP. You know, give it back and forth, and you know it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Let me say something. Microsoft, this one thing I don't like about them. They seem to hover over their developers. And hold their hand. We're dealing with grown-ass people who went to school and know what the hell they're doing in regards to making games. Give them the resources and the budget to make those games and let them do what they do, man. Stop hovering over them. Stop holding their hand. You just some people, you wanted Pubg, didn't you? You just sent, who you sent over there? You sent some people from the Gears team over there to the Pubg team to help them develop Pubg, to help it to get it converted to a console. So I mean, this notion that you have 400 to 500 people on a team and that they're going to continue to focus on Gears, where Gears is not going to be a title that people. You act like these titles, people are not going to get tired of these titles. You act like people are not going to get tired of a Halo or of a Forza or of a Gears. Halo don't have the same mainstream clout that it used to. People is still questioning 343 as a developer in regards to it handling that franchise.
Facts.
So I mean. These titles that you think is set in stone, yeah, they're set in stone for the diehard fans. But the fans that you have that's gonna question the choices and the directions you make in regards to the content you have for us, we're not going for that shit. I'm not happy about this. I want to see the game that they was developing prior to y'all pushing Gears on them. The one that they invested 2 years in, one that a lot of developers from that studio wanted to complete, wanted to prove themselves with that IP, and that they had a issue with leaving that title and going to Gears because everybody wasn't happy that they was taking on Gears from that studio. A lot of them wanted to finish up that new IP that they was working on. I want to see it come to fruition. Because this Halo, Gears, Forza, I mean, that's cool for now. But as the generations move ahead, it like that shit. Oh, I grew up all Halo. I want something new. You can't keep pushing out the same shit every couple years.
But you know what, both? One thing about this is you really don't know. Microsoft once told you they can never do original Xbox games as backwards compatibility. Yeah. But look what they did. So they could be lying. They could be working on something else. But until we see, I can't really judge it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know.
I think they lied because they didn't want that Forza Horizon.
Why would they lie though? They're not in a position.
Okay, the reason why I'm saying that is because they was mad about when the Forza the Playground game got leaked.
Right.
They was mad about. They was pissed about that. They didn't want nobody to know about that.
If you
know what I'm saying?
If you remember back in 2016, was it 15? I think it was 2016 or 2015 Z3. It was really boring because everybody already knew what was going on with the leaks. I mean, we're already been talking. Look, they've been. Why Microsoft didn't stop them, didn't stop the coalition when they was talking about that a new IP that they were working on last year. They were talking about this IP that they've been working on. I think it's smoke and mirrors. We didn't get we got a confirmation from somebody from Microsoft. They didn't say it was Phil Spencer or it was Mikey Barra or Aaron Greenberg or Sharon Loftus. That should tell you that should be an indication that they're just maybe trying to give smoke and mirrors. My stance is still going to be the same as it always been. I think that it's if for the Halo franchise. The Halo franchise can be as big as Star Wars if they really want to make it that big. It can have endless.
Don't you think it already passed that time to do that?
Absolutely. I mean, well, they did do that. They did do that with hashtag SaveLock with Team Osiris. Just the approach was wrong because at that time they were in desperation mode because of the unpopularity of the Xbox One. If the thing of it was where they came out to be a lock origin story. No, it may not have sold as well in the beginning, but once people started playing that multiplayer, because it is the best Halo multiplayer, bar none, and it would have gained momentum afterwards. No, I don't. I mean, it's fluid. It's a lot more fluid. It's faster. More. It's got there's more modes than there's ever been. But I mean, okay, you can say that's questionable. Regardless, though, the game could have still had its legs as long as they didn't advertise it the wrong way. And if they came out to make it an origin story to introduce Locke and Team Osiris, that game would have been received well from the diehards better than what it did. Another thing is that with the coalition, they're going to work on what they're going to work on. It's, you know, I've said this, look, if they want to have the freedom, then they should have the freedom. If they don't, then they shouldn't. What Xbox needs to go into is getting developers and making their own studios like Gobo and whoever else that they like when they're doing it with, I guess, assuming that it's going to be.
So how do you feel about waiting another 5 or 4 years to come out?
Okay, Fable 4. And basically what's going on is that if Playground Games is working with the top talented developers to make Fable 4 or whatever game, then it's okay to have Coalition and 343 do their own thing while other studios make new IPs or sequels. That's the thing.
Didn't you mention a few months ago that you didn't want 343 working on nothing else?
I just said, didn't I just say to you that I said, I'm going to keep my stance? I'm going to keep my stance. I said, I don't.
So you're going with that?
I've been going with that. It's that 343, the Halo series can go as big as it can go. I mean, if it's up to the developers themselves, and look, if Microsoft is standing over, and I've said this as well, if hopefully if you recorded that, if you're doing all this recording shit, if that's what I said is that if Microsoft is standing over them and telling them that they can't do it, then that's wrong. But I said if they just choose that they want to just stick with Halo because they already know what they're getting into once they sign with 343. Now the Coalition, it's a newer company. I mean, it's a newer studio, so no telling what's going on. But I think it's smoke and mirrors because they don't want all these leaks to come out and to take away the momentum of what's supposed to be happening in E3 for 2018.
I say this. Look, man, this notion that that 343 should play it safe because they're accustomed and they know what they're doing with Halo is a terrible idea, and it's bad for gaming. The developers over there that's on that 343 team have worked across this industry with many other developers, publishers, and teams creating different genres and different types of games. The notion that they should play it safe is bad. We don't even supposed to play it safe in life. What the fuck? I'm gonna play it safe and developing a game, folks. I want to be challenged. I want to be pushed. You're never supposed to be content. Never settle for less. You know what I'm saying? Always go beyond. Always try to go beyond what. It's like that. Look beyond the window you stare out of instead of looking down at the front porch and seeing what they doing on the block. You know what I'm saying? this whole subject of them being content that they should just do what they used to and what they know how. Nah, bro. That's how you get developers walking out. That's how you get a studio like Bungie walking out and saying we don't want to deal with this no more because we don't want to. We just want to do something new. We want to do something fresh. It's not saying we don't want to return to Halo, but we want to do something new and fresh to get our innovation going again, to get our creativity going again, and get our juices flowing. And once those things happen, when we go back to Halo, we can take that same energy back to that franchise and make it even better. But right now, even what they did with Halo 5, yes, it's a good game. Single player is questionable. Multiplayer is dope. But the fans is still not satisfied with what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, post up. Until I see 343 and the coalition do something else, to me they just like I don't know, like off the bench or something like that. Like what do we know them for? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just awkward. Like y'all, they run around with hand-me-down franchises right now. You know what I'm saying? Do your own shit.
And Halo didn't reach this peak. Halo has reached its peak. You know what I'm saying? In regards to having the opportunity to become that Star Wars. Back in with Halo 2, that was his peak. Halo 2 and Halo 3 was his peak.
I say three.
Three, yeah. That was it. I'm saying that was his peak. It doesn't do those numbers in 24 hours no more. It's not breaking record sales like
Gears of War and Halo 5 got way more competition now than they ever had.
Yeah, it's a different time. We're dealing with a different audience, gamers and stuff like that. Like I think Microsoft is sold on this fact that Halo, Gears, and Forza is going to have this. Is going to be able to sustain this appeal that it has forever, and it's not. And if you don't jump ahead of it now,
I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I disagree wholeheartedly. Just
okay, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
I'm just saying. I mean, look. I mean, we got games that came out on the PlayStation from PlayStation 1. We have game that comes out from.
Oh, here we go.
I'm just stating the facts. I mean, regardless of how you want to slay it, that's how you want to do it. That's your business. I don't care. This is what it is, though. You can't say that games that goes through generations don't keep their status. They may have go through their dips, but eventually, but always, these games will always be sellers. There's a reason why the Halo, Gears, and Forza franchise are billion-dollar franchises. So the thing of it is that look, I mean, if you're gonna say this about Halo, Gears, and Forza, then you need to be saying this about Uncharted. You need to say this about God of War. Okay. You need to say this about
big fella, and that's why they got other games.
That's true, but they've been doing that from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Look, okay, when people
say, so what's the difference?
Well, no, this is the difference right here because 343. You're out here acting like 343 is as old as Naughty Dog or as the team that makes God of War.
Here we go.
Aren't they?
Hold on, let them go. Because I'm gonna get him.
Aren't they?
I'm gonna get him. This is Kareem versus Kareem. Let's go.
Right, it's Kareem versus Kareem. And this is the thing, right? There are a bunch of people that left. Because so if you come at me and give me this view of saying, well, they're still Bungie, then what the hell happened to the team that's over there getting slave drivers for Activision then? If you're going to say that. The thing of it is that if these people, if they wanted to leave so bad, if they would have all bounced, but they didn't. They stayed with 343 because they love the Halo series or the franchise, and they want to keep building on it. And again, maybe 343 doesn't feel like they've made the perfect Halo for them yet. And that's what. So again,
so pay the bills.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, okay. I'm pretty sure these people are making a hell of a lot more money than everybody on this panel.
Okay.
Top dog said next gen. Cut this clown cake, make a Michael.
Okay.
That's a fact.
We're gonna do this here. Is Zeke gonna take this L too? Because I heard him in the back talking about got him. You're wrong, player. Let me tell you something.
Put him in the spot,
this notion that every time we're talking about Xbox, we got to compare what Xbox is. Let's not talk about Sony. This conversation is not about Sony. Sony in this game and what they're doing has nothing to do with the conversation we have now. So I can care less about.
You basically said, brother, that
I said Gears, Forza, and Halo are not going to.
And
I said they're not going to be able to sustain that over a period of time. Look at GT. Look at GT, $1 billion franchise. One of Sony's $1 billion franchise, the car racer. Does it have the same appeal now that it did back in the day?
Because it's not standing up to no.
I'm asking the question.
Okay,
Does he wanted to bring Sony in it? Does he wanted to bring Sony in it? I'm asking him a question.
Hey, Mega, let me ask you this question, big fella. Remember back in the day when Halo and Gears were everything.
Okay, I'm not going to answer your shit until I answer.
Let the man make it. I got this.
Let me make my point. Okay, the reason why GT the reason why GT isn't coming out, didn't gravitate like it used to, is because PlayStation half-assed on it. You don't go and you know that you got a competition on the horizon, right? This is the deal. You go and you got Forza now that's truly the king of racers, regardless of fucking the sales numbers. That's shit for Porter Rock to talk about. This is the shit right here that's the true facts.
Guns in the butter.
They treated the greatest PlayStation franchise for this of all time as a second-rate stepchild. They treated that shit. They treated Drive Club better. How the fuck do you go ahead and fans of PlayStation want to dog about PUBG in the preview program, but when they paid $60 to $80 for fucking GT, and that's a previews program because you're just now getting rain effects. You're finally going to get the single player effects. That's the reason why it didn't gravitate. They don't even have as many cars as Forza does. Now go ahead. Exactly.
But at the end of the day, it's all the main point I was making was sustainability, brother. You think that Xbox fans are going to be Halo, Gears, and Forza over the next 5 or 10 years, player? And then this thing you saying about
studios didn't he say the same thing about Mario? Didn't he say about Zelda? I mean, come on, bro. When there are games, that resonates all over.
Let me talk to him right quick.
All right, go ahead. Let's talk to him.
K Mega, how many units did Gears of War 4 sell? Don't give me no guess. Don't give me none of that. Give me the exact numbers.
Over 6 million. It probably is 7 million right now.
Exact numbers. Where did you find 6 million?
No, just go about. Look, Randar Thor made a video. Sit there. It was about 6.4 million.
Listen.
Who's Randar Thor? This man talks.
Shout out to Randar Thor. Shout out to Randar Thor.
Who's Randar Thor?
I need to hear. I said shout out to Randar Thor. I just said shout out to Randar Thor. I'm telling you, who from Microsoft said they sold over 6 million?
Nobody ever talk about sales.
Microsoft ain't released the numbers on
that. They don't release numbers about anything.
You know why Microsoft ain't releasing numbers?
They just released PUBG numbers at 3 million.
Yeah,
they just released PUBG numbers at 3 million.
Hey, one more thing. They also released Forza Horizon sales too when they were popular.
Hey, Mega. Right. They're not releasing numbers because they're not what they used to be.
They're not what they used to be. And that's what I'm talking about to say. And another thing, this notion that K Mega is saying that comparing 343 to Naughty Dog in terms of age, do you know you have people on that 343? Oh my! Just because you think they're your team doesn't mean they have that they don't have veteran designers and developers on that team, brother.
Now you're
because you said
I never said
you said Halo. You made a point about Halo being a young team versus Naughty Dog being a little bit older.
So was I lying about that? But was I saying that 343 as a company, as a studio, is not fucking?
Are you talking about young in talent, or are you talking about young as far as
no? You're the one that said young in
talent. I'm asking, young in talent or young in existence?
It's a young developing crew.
But that still don't make no sense.
Yeah, it does because
it doesn't because they have veteran developers on the team.
Oh my goodness!
So what
if I'm trying to say to you, but you're not trying to listen?
Okay, go ahead.
Let you all hit him.
Let me put this a point. I said the 343. I didn't say anything about the talent level. I said 343 is a young studio compared to Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog's been doing this shit since the 80s, bro.
I disagree with that.
Okay,
I disagree with that.
Really?
I disagree with that because you have developers on 343 team who probably been developing since the 80s. Just because they're young and existing as far as them just creating a studio doesn't make
that's fine, but that's saying as a studio, they're over here they probably feel
but
that they haven't made their fucking perfect Halo yet. And if that doesn't resonate with you,
veteranship negates your point, brother. Veteranship negates your point.
Negating when you got a team. That's just like my Thunder, right? My Thunder's got the big three, actually big four, but they keep having their ups and they keep having their downs, and that's because they're new together. It's the same thing that happened with the Miami Heat. Miami Heat went through all that fucking struggle, and then what they did at the end of the season, once they started clicking, then everything came into fruition. Now this is this is the same thing about with this team. They're building every fucking Halo that they have done, and they've only done 2 Halos.
And look, let me tell you something. It's only so much you can do with a first-person shooter.
Hey, post
all right, hold on. I got this. See, I got this. Look, it's only so much you can do with a first-person shooter. Okay. And then coming off what Bungie did, people are still comparing their efforts to what Bungie did. So that tells you that even though Bungie is not there, a lot of people still prefer what Bungie did. It's only so much you can do with first-person shooters in regards to innovating. You can do all that and add all the stuff that you want. At the end of the day, it's still a first-person fucking shooter. Okay, and that's what I mean about them needing.
Just an action game is an action game. A racer is a racer.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what, and that was the whole point. It makes sense right here because that's why the whole point of us saying they need to do new things, branch out and do other games and stuff like that.
Then they shouldn't have to. If they feel that they haven't made the perfect Halo for them to give to the public, then that's their decision.
No. If I want them to, then they should.
Look, let me make this point because people don't comprehend very well. Hold on. There's a lot of people don't comprehend.
You get it right to that last part.
Let me make this
last part.
I was like,
wait, hold on. I just want to say one thing, nigga.
Let me make this point.
I mean, look, if I'm paying,
can I make this last point? And then you can go ahead
and let the man fight back now, Pose White, nigga.
Hold on, let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
Shit.
Let him go. Let him go.
Let him all
go. It's K versus K. It's K versus K. Let's go. Talk about it, K nigga.
Ain't about to do my man like that, though. All right, we're talking.
No, fuck that. Let me clarify this again. Because you didn't hear my first point. You're over here just on offense. And you listen. I said if it's come to be true that Microsoft is forcing them to not make new IPs, then it's wrong. But if they choose to want to work on these IPs solo, then let them do what they want to do. I don't see anything wrong with that. There was a reason why that Bungie team left the original Bungie and went with 343.
No, I disagree. I disagree with that. We sit up on this show and we all the time tell gamers to vote with their wallet. Right. In the terms of, and we do that because we want to set a stance and let the developers know what our likes and dislikes are and what we're willing to take and what we're not willing to take. Right. And I'm pretty much sure that your stance, along with Crap Game and Mooch, was that this stance is that they shouldn't do any other games. But soon as the word got out that Gears developers was creating another games outside of Gears, the community went ablaze. Even Crap Gamer, who the favorite same guy who went against Z and said that they shouldn't, was megatonning, mega bombing, dropping big announcements all over the place. Hold on, no. If we're going to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. Hold on. But that let you know, the reason why I'm saying this is because, hold on. The reason why I'm saying, hold on. Let me get my point out. The reason why I'm saying is that lets you know that the Xbox community is yearning for new experience. And it's not about if they want to do it. It's about if we want them to do it, because it is us that is providing for them when we buy their products. So if I'm invested in an ecosystem and I want something from a developer other than what they're giving me, then I have the audacity to say whatever I want and choose with my wallet if they don't give me what I want. Now, Microsoft might feel they should work on Halo. That's Microsoft. But at the end of the day, if the gamers do what they have to do, then Microsoft gonna go with what the gamer says.
I'm gonna slide in real quick. Let me tell you something. Let me slide my one-liner off. I'm gonna slide in real quick. I ain't say shit all show. I'm gonna slide in real quick. Now, as far as the gamers choosing what the developers make, fuck no. Most gamers are stupid as hell. Absolutely dumb as shit. People will be like, oh, nerf this. Why did you nerf that? That shit is stupid. Make whatever the fuck you think you want to make. And then if I like it, I will play it. Right. If I don't like it, I won't. Make what I want you to make. I'm not with that. Just because that ends up with a bunch of the same exact shit. Just like they were talking about this shit the other day. I don't remember what the fuck I was watching. No, something, I don't know. But they were saying the same thing, that the developers are like, gamers as a whole always want the same thing. In order for us to make new things, we need to hire artists. That's why we don't hire gamers. And that's
Matt, understand what I was saying. Understand what I was saying in that point. I wasn't saying that gamers should dictate what kind of games that developers should make. My point was in regards of gamers wanting new experience from studios who just do one particular game. It wasn't about forcing them. They can do whatever game they want that they want. The whole point was that gamers should expect more out of some of these studios, especially if you got 300-400 team development teams. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I understand what you were saying, so I do agree with that.
Okay, but let me make this point. I'm not gonna go as far as saying the gamers are stupid. It's just that some gamers just don't pay attention to this like we do. And the fact of it is that's why it doesn't matter if 343 makes one game or if they make 20. The thing of it is that as long as Xbox brings new experiences, which they are, this is the thing that's really tripping me out, because while you're talking about that, there's no new experiences. There's Sea of Thieves, but people still shit on it. There's State of Decay, people still shit on it. There's Ori and the Blind Forest, people still shit on it. I mean, there's so many.
Ori gets praised everywhere. What are you talking about?
No. What
the fuck are you talking about?
Would you tell them all day? It was people crying. It was people on YouTube crying at the introductory of the second one. They was literally crying.
You don't think that there's people that's not shitting on Ori and the Blind Forest?
Where? Show me, nigga. That doesn't exist. Where? I haven't seen it. Where?
Well, all right.
Where, nigga?
So anyway, all the point that I'm trying to make is that as long as Xbox is making new IPs or bringing sequels, and so I made a video making that point of saying, look, we do need Rise, Sunset Overdrive, and Quantum Break to make those returns, because we do know that Recore 2 is going to come, and that's a good thing, regardless of what people think about it. Because
dog shit.
Okay, so is Knack too, but they still brought it, and that was one thing that I gave praise to Sony for doing, is that they'll just ram a game down your fucking throat until you get to like it. You know what I'm saying? Or at least they put them on their list. So okay, anyway, but this is the point right here. If 343 is making is making Halo and making these new experiences the way that they're supposed to, then through the Halo universe, then nobody's going to bitch about it. And the whole point, in fact, why you saying people want change through their studio, through just one particular studio or a big studio, then why the hell was so many people up in uproar because Master Chief wasn't fully covered or featured on Halo 5? People do not like fucking change. Why do you think that? Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Locke was boring, nigga.
So it's fucking Master Chief, nigga. This is what you don't understand.
He's a fucking fact. Who makes
Master Chief? You look at the motherfuckers around Master Chief that makes Master Chief.
I'm gonna remix that to a meat.
Okay, it's Master Chief. It's motherfucking Cortana. I mean, it's Cortana. It's Johnson. It's everybody else around Master Chief that makes Master Chief what he is. And just because you have a black protagonist that is the same.
That's the only reason why you like him, nigga.
No,
I ain't agree with a damn thing LK Mega said. Master Chief is boring as fuck.
You don't like Halo, period. So I know you gonna agree with it.
No. This is the fact.
He don't like Halo, period. So
you said this also.
He don't. That shit was facts. He don't like Halo, period. So
But the thing I'm trying to say is that Locke is the same damn way as fucking Master Chief, except that he's not a Gen 1 Spartan. That's it.
Hold on. I gotta pay the bills.
But the people around Locke makes Locke cool. I didn't say he makes him better than Chief. I just said he makes him cool because you got at least somebody that's on Locke's team that's more out there. Like Buck. Buck is a popular character.
All right. Based on the multiple
because of Master Chief.
Hold on. Let me pay the bills. Cyrus Burke, shout out to my man. Operation based off of its multiplayer. People count. What did he say? Well, shit went away. On screen. Hold up. Fonzarelli.
Fonz said $2 at Xbox One X, outsold PS4 in December.
Ah, shit. Oh, damn. I can't get paid off that one. Damn.
yo, Z, remember you were like, yo, let's do double enough for December. I'm like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Because because all those 1S sales, they didn't count for November. It was after the deadline. I'm like,
hold on, let me make one last point.
I was like, yeah, we're not doing that. Give me my money.
I'm not doing that. Shout out to the Xbox One X. It's the best console out this gen. But let me just make this point. Let me just make this last point, and then we can move on. Whatever. And then everybody go.
They're gonna crucify you for that, man.
Here's the question: was it the ass? Or was it the ass that won December?
Hold on.
People hated the Arbiter.
Hold up, man. I pay the bills. Hold up. I got more donations. Hold up. Specifically, the words Halo. This is again from Operation. What do you mean by that? Like, it's a word like it's like I don't know. A lot of people didn't like Halo 5, but anyway. But I'm done. All right. Bills are paid.
Okay. So anyway. I'm not going anywhere, brother. Okay, vocals, just go ahead, try, because I'm not. I can't. They can't.
They
can't kill.
On behalf of my boy K Mega, I just want to say this right now: making new IPs ain't cool because Phil didn't say it was cool to make new IPs. Right? That's what they said. Right? Straight like that.
I don't know how that made any sense because when there's new IPs that's coming out, but I mean, but people shit on them. I mean, look. Crackdown 3 is a sequel.
Trash.
People see, look, listen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, damn. I mean, Sea of Thieves is a brand new IP. Go ahead.
Oh my God! I want to talk about that bullshit ass game.
So, that game is fun as fuck, man. I don't know.
I do want to say that I know you were talking about like Gears and Halo, and I do think that there's a lot. I know Post was saying that they don't have longevity, but they've been around for a while, and there's a lot to say when the fans of the franchise don't like the latest game. I do want to throw that out there.
And look, I know Halo, and I agree that I know Halo and these Halo has been out for a while, but I'm talking about.
I think they might be
the sustainability is going to start to decline because as new hardware and I'm just.
Let him talk.
How long Uncharted been out? How long Uncharted been out?
Uncharted's been out for a while, bro. It's been out.
Has Halo been out longer than Uncharted?
2007.
Okay.
Has Halo been out longer than Uncharted?
Hell yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody forgot God of War, right?
Let's talk about it, okay, man.
Look, even God of War is being the new God of War that's coming out is being questioned. Look, I understand these franchises, these are the billion-dollar franchise, but I'm telling you, at some point in time, the sustainability of these titles will start to decline as not only based on the software itself, but as competition around Microsoft continue to grow and bring new experience. You think that the Microsoft fan base is not going to want them to provide the same thing?
Also,
and you know what I'm saying? Shit don't stay on top forever, bro. That's what I'm saying.
These games are based on stories, right? Like you have to think about what would make them continue to make another, and that's the campaign making sense. These games are not like the sports games or the games that you continuously see, that they don't really have to focus on the campaign or the story of it all. It doesn't have to make sense. It could just be in a different city.
Epic wasn't gonna do a Gears of 4. Epic was through with Gears at 3. Epic was done with Gears of War at 3. It was not going to do a Gears of War 4 until Microsoft swooped in and brought the franchise. Right. So that tells you. Even Sony said
Sony's not going to be doing Uncharted.
They was just saying that Sony was just saying, even Naughty Dog, not Sony, but Naughty Dog them said that they might get Uncharted a break for a while. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
And nobody said it wasn't. For the people, I've said this as well. I've said for the people that's screaming for Halo 6 to come out this year, no, I don't want Halo to come out this year. I could say I would be happy for it to come out in 2019 to give it a good enough break, let other games get their time and to shine, to let people get back familiar with some of the titles that maybe that Xbox is going to bring that are sequels, or for new titles that's going to be coming so people can sink their teeth into. That's the thing that I've been saying. Look, we're not too far from the point, but we're not too far from each other, Post. But the fact of it is that you guys are demanding that those two studios do something.
It's no different than gamers demanding for new studios.
Just because, and you know what? That's the thing that I think that should be the topic, is for new studios to make new IPs or sequels. That's the thing that I think that's more the point than just because you got these big teams and let them work on something else. If they don't want to, then they just shouldn't have to. Microsoft has enough money to buy all the best talent to make games, and they are doing this with what we're going to see with Fable 4 and for whatever else is coming down the pipe.
I mean, we gotta look. I look at people is begging for new studios because they know Microsoft is going to continue to have these studios focus on Gears, Forza, and Halo. So we might as well scream for new studios. But
it's no different.
That doesn't negate the fact that we should have a discussion about these.
Okay, Megan, can you ask me a question real quick?
The lifeblood of what these games. Okay, the lifeblood of the big franchises on all three systems. That's why they keep bringing them out every generation. Is because that gives their companies more money to get more new things out. You got to have these games to keep coming out. You can't just come out with a new.
No. The reason why I say that. The reason why I say that is because, and people is wanting new experience because they know at some point Microsoft is going to have to find their next big franchise, their next, whether that's, and I'm not, when I say the next Halo, Gears, or Forza, I'm not talking about games that play or are the same thing as them. I'm talking about the games that have the same impact as them. They're going to have to find it because, like I said, the sustainability of those franchises is not going to go on forever. Things decline at a certain point. People get tired of things at a certain point. We live in, it's just like this age of instant gratification. People buy a phone, the next one come out, they on to the next one, even though they just brought one a couple weeks ago. People always want to stay up with the latest trends, the latest techs. That's how it is in gaming. People want the latest experience and things like that. Microsoft gonna have to put themselves in a position to find their next biggest IPs that have the same impact as those old ones, because at some point they're gonna fade, and that's fact, and that's a fact.
And all right, to that point though, Microsoft keeps putting out IPs, and then they'll say some dumb shit like Recore is going to be a great IP. We say we don't want that trash. They stop making Recore. I don't know that shit couldn't have been great. I don't give a fuck. But every time they say we're trying to do this, everybody else be like, no, that shit is trash. Don't do it. Then they don't. And you be like, oh, they need to do something else. Niggas can't have it both ways. Like, you either want them to do something else and you allow them to do that shit. And if they fuck up, they fuck up. If they make it great, they make it great. Or you don't ask for new shit. It's one or the other, because people will be like, I want new shit. They make new shit. You're like, I didn't want this shit. What's the difference?
It has to come out and be good, bro. It can't be mediocre trash.
I'll say this. I'll say the Tancer Master.
Uncharted 1 was mediocre trash.
I'll be no.
Uncharted 2.
I'll say this. No, but hold on. To answer Masterland's thing, I think Microsoft needs to stop. They need to stop just listening and just do it. Like Sony, just do it. Like no one asked for an Act 2, but Sony did it just in case to see maybe we can get this popping. Nope, wasn't popping. Fine, we did 2 attempts. We're gonna move on to a new idea. Like you said, Uncharted didn't light up the chart, but Sony said, or the developers, they're like, we're gonna do another one. We're gonna see how it goes.
And number
Uncharted knocked it out the park. So now they got a franchise. The thing is that Microsoft just needs to do it. Like, even if they don't ask for it, like, fuck it, release a Record 2. You never know. The second one might be the bomb.
Supposedly it's coming out.
Just do it.
I can see that. Just fix what they had issues with in the first one.
I agree holistically. I'm just saying, like, I'm saying, like, the community people that go at them about not making new stuff when they make new stuff, and then you don't support the new shit and ask why they didn't make new shit. You can't do both. Like simultaneously is an oxymoron. I want new stuff, but I don't want the new stuff you're giving me.
But what if the new stuff is not good enough?
For both.
What about that?
How do you know that the new stuff is not good enough?
Wasn't Record new at the time when it came out? Right. That was trash. Cell phone game
came out and it was trash. Okay.
Right.
So I don't know. Like I said, like we were just talking about Uncharted. Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, flames. How the hell do you know Record 2 is not going to be flames?
Mass, the problem is...
Explain it to me. How you know this shit ain't gonna be fire?
It could be fire.
Yeah, that's what Microsoft just needs to do it. Microsoft just needs to
known as the hardcore. It was supposed to be the hardcore fucking console. We want like real looking shit. Man, who the fuck want to play Record? You see that shit? Grown ass man, dog. Don't bring me no Nintendo shit on fucking Xbox. Fuck no, skip. Yo, man.
I'm 100% behind you. With Microsoft needs more mature franchises that aren't named Gears and Halo. 1,000% with you.
And after they lift this NDA, oh my God, boy, listen.
Oh my God. Hey, yo,
he has the video done. He
been patiently waiting for that CFP NDA to lift.
I'm gonna give you one more chance to save me, to save my heart, bro. I'm telling you.
Explain to the panel why you worried about God of War, bro.
Yo.
Who worried about?
Oh, don't start this shit now.
What happened?
I want K Meg to explain to the panel and the chat why he's worried about God of War.
What?
Hold on. Rule number 1: don't be repeating no crap gamer shit. It's got to be an original point.
Okay. All right. You asked me a question.
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right,
get him, Megan.
Line his ass up, Megan.
Okay, about God of War.
Out of breath and shit. What?
Nigga jacking off, man. What the fuck going on?
I was over there running around. I was doing some stuff, man.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I mean,
you're right. Don't.
Run and grab a handful of carrots.
At least mute yourself and shit.
I had to run through the house and go do.
You said Megan said his sugar was on low.
That's his exercise for the day.
Really? I'm sorry, lady, but I pick up motherfuckers. I'll pick up motherfuckers that. Anyway, let me stop. Anyway,
what was the question?
Okay, I was talking about God of War. So, and I'm pretty sure that all day was bringing up some stuff about my problems about God of War. Listen, look. God of War could be the game of the year, or God of War could become this year's Mass Effect Andromeda. Real simple. I mean, look. That's
a legit point.
You can say
that's a legit point. Like,
I'm not
laughing about
the same reason.
You can say that about anything.
You can say that to any game.
Yeah.
Like literally, every single game.
But this is the difference between him saying it about, I don't know, Record 2 and him saying it about God of War. God of War and Mass Effect have the same gravitas.
Right. Yeah.
Like Mass Effect. What the fuck are you talking about?
They have
Mass Effect have the same level of gravitas.
No, here's my thing.
Nobody gives a fuck about that.
No, here's the thing. All right. Oh, well, I see what you're saying. In terms of potential to flop and being a big news, yes. But here's the thing. Mass Effect didn't do anything. They didn't do nothing to change the game.
What? The combat system is completely the best. The combat system is the best in the game. The glitches and the story and the press fucking with it is what made everybody hate that shit. 90% of the people who hate Mass Effect Andromeda never played Mass Effect and fucking Andromeda.
Right, because it's not a bad game.
It's not. The combat is 100%. It's the best Mass Effect combat. 100%.
Yeah, and this is the thing about it. Like, look, I'm still going to get the game. It's just like when I said the word niche and people took it as I said that Persona was a bad game. I said it was just niche. The franchise was niche, and that's just the truth. But regardless, it's God of War has changed its identity. And the one thing that I fear more than anything about this game is that it loses its soul because the director of the game is making this more of a cinematic masterpiece instead of making this what God of War's essence is. And that's the only thing that I'm tripping. I'm not worried about a jump button and all that. No. And yeah, they changed the camera to the Rise. Well, that's why I say it's Rise-ish. And that's fine because I love Rise. I don't have no issue.
Oh, hell no. Don't compare this game.
Well, how you can't?
This goes back to what I was saying. Things change. Times change.
Anything else, bro, than Rise.
It's not over the shoulder like Rise? I mean, am I right or wrong?
Oh, my God. Things change. Times change.
I mean, sometimes, I mean, you know, look, sometimes some of you guys be sounding ignorant as fuck when y'all, that game, it looks like that game has a Rise look to it. They changed the camera angle. I didn't say that was bad because I love Rise, right? The thing of it is that I don't want this game to lose its soul. And it seems that they're trying to go that direction. That's why they're bringing this kid involved. They, you know, all day trying to
wait, but don't you think it's gaining the soul because there's more story?
See, this is
the question. I'm just giving you my point, and then you can
go ahead.
Please.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'll be brief. The thing of it is that we know Rise from, I mean, not Rise. We know God of War for the bros and the hoes trophies, and for, you know, him being this kick ass dude. That's just kind of like, to me, Kratos. Look, the God of War franchise is in my top 3 of my favorite franchises of all time. So that should tell you right there that how I put this game on a pedestal. But if you take the badassery from that game and try to make him more humble or more human, then to me that's kind of like you doing that you change, like how like they did with Chief, and they made it more subtle to where he did with the katana, and it worked. But Kratos is a monster. He is a bad motherfucker, and he is not to be fucked with. And you make him into this kind of temperament type of dude, and he gets angry every once in a while. That means that it's going to be more of a cinematic game than it is going to be more hardcore, gritty action. They may have some real hardcore gore, and you might fuck up some people you know, for that moment. But as that game has been for all these years, it has been a cutthroat. That is a badass dude. I wouldn't want to fuck with him. I want him on my team type of game. And if you take that away, you take the soul up.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Who says they took that away simply because they went to a different view angle?
Well, because of the developer. The developer has stated more than one occasion that this game is not going to be like the others, and that
it's not. It is different.
It's completely a reboot, bro.
It's a reboot. It's a different. It's a different gameplay.
I'm not talking about. I know it's a terrible type of gameplay. I know that this is not.
But that's why he's mad.
This is the This is the.
The game is not made for you, K Mega. You're the way I'm from what I'm hearing you like that old school.
He likes God of War.
You like that old school God of War, the way it used to be jump button and all that stuff.
No, let me do a jump button. See that?
I'm just I'm not saying once you listen. I'm just saying I just threw the jump button in there. I'm just saying you like that old school God of War experience, but this new God of War is catered to a different audience. That's all. And a lot of games are going to start changing based on the audience it is now, not what it was back in the day.
I get you. But this is the thing that look, PlayStation already have a strong lineup of storied games. Detroit, where God of War was my most anticipated game, now Detroit's going to be that most anticipated game for PlayStation for me this year. Because look, that is where that's going to that story is going to be totally compelling. That story is going to be deep. And
so you have a problem with God of War being compelling?
Yo, please stop bringing up Marlo Briggs, man. I looked at somebody told me that was a God of War. I looked at the video footage and saw through the loops.
When I'm trying to make
colorful birds and animals and shit being watched, looking like looking like starburst.
Here's the reality with the God of War franchise, all right? 6 of them were made with that same old play style. 4 on consoles, two on handhelds. The last one, Ascension, bombed. It went from a 5 million selling franchise to only 1 million. They couldn't.
That was one.
No.
It did not sustain.
Ascension.
What did it do not do? It did not sustain, right?
Yeah, listen, exactly. That's what was going to come up. Ascension came out after God of War 3, and it bombed. It fucking bombed back.
Because it was prequel.
No,
and they patched multiplayer.
People want, they tried to make it, try to go into the multiplayer type of aspect.
It still had the single player. I mean, to go from 5 million to 1 million, I could maybe understand it dropped to 3 million. Okay, but to lose 90% of your audience, it bombed. The game bombed.
So what you have to do? What you have to do?
Hold on. So what they're doing? They're rebooting it, right? Similar to what Nintendo did with Metroid. They went from 2D side scroller to a first-person action game.
And guess what?
Right? Grand Theft Auto didn't start out the way it was. It was an over-the-top game. Rebooted.
Guess what?
Fallout was a top, like a 3/4 view RPG. They turned into a first-person type shooter action game.
Porter Rock.
There's a lot of reboots. Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 rebooted it to 4.
Hey, Porter Rock.
Happens. You can't. They want to make a new God of War. But I guarantee if they would have stuck with the old fam for the
nobody would have Porter Rock.
No, we would be saying right now, it's a rehash.
Guess what, Porter Rock?
That's what we'd be saying right now.
Guess what, Porter Rock? Sony was done with the franchise.
Yeah,
he had to go. He had to go. Pretty much beg them and present his version of what God of War, what he wanted it to be, in order for them to fund it. But Sony was done with the franchise.
Sony gave them, when they made Ascension, it was a budget of a 5 million selling game that sold 1 million.
They was done. This shit and the creator said they was done.
But they rebooted it. They had to reboot it. They couldn't go back to the old one. There was no way to go back to it. As much as some of us like it,
gentlemen,
we will have a different conversation right now. It will simply be a rehash right now.
Gentlemen, listen again. I mean, I think
my man's having palpitations right now.
I think that's taking the L of 2018. Let's go.
That's a fact.
I think I speak clearly enough to where I think I articulate enough to where people can understand what I'm saying, right? But it seems like you're not getting it, right? I said I have no problem with it taking away the jump button. I have no problem with the camera angle. I have no problem with them going towards the Thor. I can't say that.
Yeah,
going to the Thor. I forgot with Norris mythology. Yeah, like that's. I have no problem with that.
Country bumpkin over here.
Yeah, but you know what? I said it right. Yeah, the Norris mythology, right? That's focused because, of course, Zeus is not the Zeus story is.
He killed them all. He killed them all.
He killed them all. Right? I can tell you how many times I beat the hell out of Zeus. I kept punching him and punching him about 20 minutes. Right? No, it's kind of like you all the time, and you keep coming back like a bitch. But anyway, the thing of it is this: I just don't want that game to lose its core. Now, I know that he said that the game is going to be gorier than ever.
Yeah.
But that also scares me because
what?
No.
What are you talking about?
Adios.
Okay. All right.
Right now, I'm gonna pull a Z. Fuck y'all mean.
He just said he wants to get gorier than ever, and you have a feeling it's gonna lose its touch?
Man.
Let me explain it.
Where's the
game is going to, they said the game is going to be gorier than ever, right? Okay, that's great. But he also made the fact that the game is not going to be as much action, and it's not going to be as action-packed as the other previous God of Wars. And that, to me, it states that this game is going to be more story instead of more
It could be balanced. It could be balanced.
He didn't say that.
He does not say that. He said it's going to be more of a story-oriented game. It's going to be more of a cinematic interview. And that's, to me, look, you already have great cinematic games. You got
you're excited for Detroit.
Hold on, I gotta pay the bills. This man just said, let me see his name. Hold on, let me see his name.
Elite Being 21.
My man, Elite Being said, this dude complaining just to complain. God.
Let me make this point. I said Detroit. God of War was my most anticipated game. Again, boy, you just don't listen. I said it was my most anticipated game because of what the game is, right?
You just ain't saying
but now it's Detroit because of what Detroit's going to offer. PlayStation has more than enough storied games. You got to have that one.
What do you want from God of War though? Like,
he wants it to be an action game like the old God of War. Like
he wants a fucking brainless, angry Kratos. That's what this nigga wants.
Sony didn't want to fund it.
Let me explain this to you.
Sony didn't want to fund the game he wanted. Sony didn't want to fund the game he wanted.
God of War had a great story, but it had that type of action that you could just get into.
Wait, I'm sorry. So what you're saying is that you want the same for God of War as before, but when it came to Microsoft, you were just talking about how you need new IPs. Like, I don't understand.
No, that's everybody else. That's everybody else. I mean, I think you just came in here, Blue. It's all right. It's all right. I'm gonna nice to you.
Get him, Blue. Get him, Blue.
Fuck him up, Blue. You wasn't. Fuck him up. You missed that. Maybe you said that chainsaw.
Get him, Blue.
I'm not trying to shit on you. I'm trying to actually understand what you're
Blue
saying.
popping this bitch like hashtag me too. What the fuck? Hold the phone.
So no,
don't get me started, Zaire.
I said no. Everybody else.
At the end of the day, the God of War that K-Bag is talking about, Sony didn't want.
You wrong, Z, for that one. Hashtag me too.
That is so wrong.
How y'all gonna tell that man he don't want what he want?
I'm not telling you.
You can't want what you want. We don't give a fuck.
We got money.
I'm not telling him make it. It don't matter.
We got money.
I'm not telling him he can want what he want. I'm just saying that the game that
he'll talking about you.
Oh my bad. I'm just saying the game that he's
talking about you. I'm just over here.
Let's sit your ass down, man.
Pay the bills.
Daniel J sent $5 in the chat and said, "Somebody get this man some water." He's really being salty right now.
I'm not salty about nothing. Everybody else being salty.
We're gonna switch.
If they don't like it, tough shit.
Let's switch it up.
I'm gonna switch the topic now. All right.
But K-Mega wants what he wants. That was his opinion on the God of War. That's his opinion. That's something you can't change. You gotta respect his opinion.
Right. And then he wants what he wants. He ain't getting it. We moving on. Like,
listen. All right, now listen.
Bash you a motherfucker.
You better go get a PSP if you want that old God of War.
Hey, I'm just saying this right here.
I just wanted to know what he
sales are going.
All right, well listen. All right, hey Garrett, you there?
What up, brother?
Now you said you now all week you've been teasing, but you was gonna give me this L.
Ah man, listen. Hold on. I need to call my witnesses.
Hit the like button.
I got your back, Garrett.
51 watching. Hit the like button.
Y'all with me? Are y'all with me? Put a rockin' all day.
I got you.
Hey, listen.
Now, I know y'all heard it because y'all listen to everything in the community like me.
Right.
Have you heard every single Xbox guy crying about how Digital Foundry is biased towards Microsoft?
Fucking idiots.
Like I've heard the most strangest conspiracy. I ain't heard shit like that since them JFK stories, big fella. Like I was like, what the fuck are these people talking about? I guess Digital Foundry is not allowed to make mistakes, although we can point out a lot of mistakes going on in this community, including myself. Including myself. And I heard my man Z, he put up a whole damage controlling video, and it hurt my heart.
Let's talk about it, King. Let's talk about it.
It hurt my heart, man. Like,
what did I say?
Is that Z be hanging around with the wrong people on Sunday?
Hey, but listen,
he hanging out with the wrong people.
What did I say? What did I say?
My brother. First, you're saying you're really with the whole narrative that Digital Foundry trying to set up Microsoft, and then you said you feel bad. You think it's wrong when they compare the X to a PC with a 1080 Ti, but you make videos that the X is comparable to a 1080 Ti and a $1,500 PC. That don't make no sense. But you don't want to know the truth.
It's comparable to a GTX 1080i. I've always let's be fair.
Do I need to find that? Do I need to find that?
I'm doing it right now. I'm bringing that. We're gonna
let me break that down.
We got to drag Big Bro out in the yard and beat his ass right quick.
No, get off of him.
It's my turn to fight back. Now listen,
you've been
rocking out with me.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Since the beginning, right? You've been rocking out. I'm always consistent, right? You know what I mean? You got. Fuck all the theatrics and over the top shit. We're gonna get the biggest knife and we're gonna put the bullshit out, right? You want to sit down and put that goddamn tiki torch down because it's fun here tonight, right? Yeah. Now, I've always said, hit
the like button.
I've always said, right, that it doesn't make any sense. Why are PC gamers comparing their fucking personal computer?
Oh shit! All day flagging people? What?
That's what I heard. Flagging who?
You flagging?
What?
You flagging? You snitching?
All day I heard you flag reported and snitched on somebody. They've been saying you are acting like a girl in hard 8. Is it true?
I
don't know. Oh shit!
Why you ain't on that corporate slave award, man? Why you on
That's that stuff we should have left in 2017. You got leave.
Hey, all day flagging and snitching. That's his new.
Nigga, I ain't you, nigga. You be snitching with these shadows, nigga. What's up, nigga?
I don't be snitching with nobody.
Can we get back to the point?
You want to talk about it? If you really want to be real, who sent B shadows to 1313? Who sent them? Who sent
Not me. Not me.
Stop lying.
I know who, but not me.
Yeah, stop lying.
I got blamed for that shit. I'm like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? I don't even know. I don't even know who
you mean all day. Fuck you mean, bro.
We go left. I see one video.
Well, we should do it.
Most gamers, nigga. Most gamers would rather buy an Xbox One X than a PC.
Okay, let me fine. Let me finish. Right?
Mikey Barr compares Xbox One X to a $1,500 PC.
Mikey Barr, right?
Hold up. And you agree with him in every video. Also, you always say this thing. Well, you know, Xbox is stronger because Xbox is a one in all box, and the developers can get more out of it. Come on,
okay,
bruh.
Ready?
Bruh.
I know you want sticking RAM for going straight PC motherfucking elitists, but check it out, right? I've always said here on this channel, right, that I think is stupid as hell for PC gamers to be arguing with console. No one gives a fuck about your screensaver. It's a console. This is between Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Mama, your box is by the front door. You know what I mean? By the front door. No one gives a fuck. Ronnie. But since they want to keep pushing this narrative, you know what I mean? I do it to throw jabs and shots. So when shit runs better on their console, because it happened a few times this goddamn generation.
But it don't run better on the console.
Assassin's Creed.
What are you talking about?
Okay, there haven't been some games that came out on consoles that outperformed the fucking PC version?
You talking about one that needed patches?
If that's the case, that came out this generation, Batman was so fucking bad, they pulled the bitch.
Go ahead, tell me about Batman.
What about Nier Automata?
Tell me about Batman.
Still fucked up. Nier Automata still fucked up on PC.
Come on, man. How you don't fuck about? Nobody give a fuck about a personal computer. Come on.
Okay, I understand that, big fella. But since we all on personal computers right now, let's keep talking.
I ain't gaming, nigga. Listen,
you can't tell me that you don't understand this. Yet you making videos about how they can compare to these great PC.
Nigga,
big fella.
Have you heard of Clickbait?
Big
brother.
Have
you ever heard of Clickbait? Because when I don't give a fuck. What
oh shit! Man, now see what happened. It ain't nothing, big fella.
Look, I'll give you an example, right?
Yo,
next gen is so disrespectful. He said he was gonna stick at my grandmother, but they didn't read the comment before then. They didn't read the comment and tell me I should drink bleach and I'm a goddamn pedophile. They didn't read that comment. They just circled my ass fucking somebody's grandmother.
And he done moved the goalpost.
Look.
He picked it up, ran it across the street.
What I said. I'm guilty of this. I said if you take a goddamn console or a PC, this is my exact words, with the same specs of the Xbox One, even slightly higher, right? And I think with one of those sites build the total parts of the Xbox, whatever it may have costed in this day and date, right? Even though it's custom. The Xbox One X would dance circles around. It's the goddamn truth. Now, that's not my opinion. That's the fucking truth. But just because you have a GTX 1080 Ti, all that's not allocated for gaming. Am I right or am I wrong?
You really believe that?
What the hell? Yeah, it's optimization. Hell fucking yeah.
All right, you ready?
Hold up.
I got a laptop.
Hold up.
I got a laptop with a 1050 in it.
We have some money.
I can play PUBG at 1080p.
Nigga,
60 frames per second.
They said.
Hey, that's better than X, big fella.
Yo, Z, read this.
Hold
Yo, Gary is a bona fide PC elitist.
Hey, yo, let me play the bills real quick.
Read this super chat.
I got you. I said shout out to Matthew for the $10. Let's have a moment of
play the bills real quick.
For next gen's credibility in the gaming streets.
Hold on.
We're gonna give it a moment of silence.
Hold on, let's pay the bills real quick. Let's pay the bills.
You told me about them all day. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck?
Mega.
You a snitch. You dirty.
I got proof.
Oh, you got proof? Hey, don't make me start calling out names. Don't make me start getting real on this shit.
Hold on. Hey.
We're talking about PC versus
Yo, let him read.
Look. Before we go forward, one at a time. Look, before we go forward, one at a time. Look. Before we go forward, one at a time. We do have to pay the bills. So let's pay the bills. Go ahead, man.
All right. Kugatsu said, and I say again. Let's have a moment of silence for next credibility in these gaming streets.
My credibility. You motherfuckers playing. Thank you for coming out.